All right, so today it's a continuation from yesterday. So our objectives and success criteria are the same, but basically we're going to create an interface for some event-driven programming. Creating those elements that people can use and click on or respond to, and then recognizing some debugging issues as well. So if you're in class, we'll do the whiteboards. If you're not, we already did them yesterday, so you're all set there. But basically, I just want you to recognize we use user interfaces all the time. We don't really think about it, but they're there. Okay, not essential. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now let's jump into Code Studio. So the last video left you off at 10, and we're going to run through this, and that'll be it for today. So when we first go to design mode, if you haven't already done so, you should have 3 buttons that are here and labeled. We can grab the edges of them and resize them. But essentially what you want to do is, if you have a left and right and forward, let's say, the point is we should also have some descriptive IDs, so they're not just called, this one's called button 2, this one's button 3, and this one's button 1. That doesn't make much sense. So we should do things like left button, and we want to make sure it's camel case like this, all right, meaning the second word is uppercase for the first letter of that word. All right, so we could have, forward button, oops, and it doesn't matter what you call it, but it should be descriptive either way and be in camel case. All right, there we go. So it says change the event handler code so that it correctly references the new ID buttons. Okay, so if we go to events, or I'm sorry, if we go to code now, like this one says button 3. Well, which one is button 3? I don't even know. Looks like it was the move forward button. So it doesn't want to say button 3 anymore. I need to choose the right one. So forward button, there we go. And that one moves forward. And so we're gonna have 2 more IDs in here, and you have to choose what they are. So looks like we need a left button and also a right button. And for all of these, we're doing clicks, and then they should do those things. So left button probably should turn left, and right should turn right. Okay, so let's run this thing and see if it's working. So right, yep, left, forward. Yeah, it looks like we're doing just fine with these. All right. So if I did that, it looks like it's working correctly. If it's not, check the event handler code. Make sure you have the right on event object element chosen. Okay. Now, if this is super simple and you want to run through all these, that's totally fine. Just make sure you understand what you're really doing, and make sure you're debugging as you go. But if you'd like to stay with me, that's great. All right, so this one mentions that you should try other things that are not just like clicks. For example, you could try mouse move or mouse down or mouse like over, for example. That's one of my favorites. Is you run it and it doesn't do anything until you just basically put your mouse over it. It'll actually do it. So I'm not even clicking and it'll choose it, which is kind of cool. So try these out. I'm not going to demonstrate them because that's your deal. All right. All right, so learning how to debug programs. If this was you, you'd probably just skip it. So just a thing. It's part of the process. You're gonna have problems. Everyone has problems. You need to check it and work backwards and see what you're maybe missing. I want you to realize there are 2 different types of errors. One's syntax errors and one's logic errors. So syntax is when you might type something in wrong. You forgot a comma, maybe something spelled wrong, something like that. Those are syntax errors. Those are super common, and you just have to carefully read what you wrote. The other one is logic errors. That's when the program runs as it should, but it can be tricky to fix because you don't know where the problem is. So you have to retrace your steps and understand why the computer is interpreting what you wrote that way. So for example, maybe the answer is giving you 5 when you really thought it was going to be 3. So the program's running and it's giving you some sort of number at the end, but it doesn't make sense why it's doing that. So that would be like a logic error. Now, if the program runs and it just doesn't run and there's an error code or something like that, that'd be a syntax error. All right. All right, 13. So what does this say? Checking ID. So if I run this and I hit move forward, it's not doing anything. All right. So it says line 1, the on-event ID parameter refers to an ID button 1, which does not exist. If I go to design mode and I click on this, it says forward button. Or if I go into code mode, if you just hold your mouse over it, it'll show it too. And that's because when they made it, they probably left it as button 1 when it should be forward button. So sometimes you have to choose the on event. You have to change the code here because you changed it in design mode as well. So let's hit there. There we go. So we investigated it, we fixed it, ran the program, it did work, so we're all set. So this one's trickier. Same thing though, we're going to run, investigate, fix, and run it again to see if it's working. So go forth, that looks good. Turn left, not working. So let's look. Is there other options? Oh, yeah, look, the left button, it's capital B instead of lowercase b. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that works now. So uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. All right. Oh, actually, did we get the right direction as well? Oh, I did turn left. Okay, good. Sometimes the button might activate, but then the function or the turtle code doesn't work the way you think. Forward. Oh, wow, look at that. That's fun. So you can see there's on event for button 1 and on event for button 1. So it will execute both of these in order from top to bottom. Oh, we were supposed to predict what was going to happen. Oh, no. All right. What was the prediction correct? Was it? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I ruined that one for you. Shoot. All right. Moving on. All right. 16. Go forth. Turn left. Go forth. Whoa. I'm not clicking. What's going on? Well, if you look, this one works fine, but the mouse over is not correct. So I'm going to just do click. That'll maybe run the way I want it to. Great. That's it. So again, run, reflect, fix it, and go on. Ooh, this is going fast. Maybe I should assign more. Goodbye, turtle. Oh, no. Oh, look, he pushes them in. Ha, ha, ha. All right. So set position and screen dimensions. I want you to see that there you can choose the width and height. So the first one is X and Y, that's the position, and the width and the height is how big an image might be, for example. So the 0, 0, this is the top left corner, and it goes left and down. Okay, so left, so 160 is halfway, and then 320 is all the way over. So 0 to 320, and then 0 to 450. You can hover over the screen when you're not running it to see what numbers are coming up right there. Okay. So let's try this out. All right. Actually, I don't know if yours starts like that. So let's start over here. Okay. All right. Now you try it. Use set position to move the button to the middle of the screen when clicked. Okay. So let's throw a set position in there and just run it. But let's put it on event. Let's put it inside of an on event. There we go. So when we click the move button, so we got to change that move button, click, then set position of what? Well, the set position of the button will move to a specific spot. So halfway, if we move our mouse, looks like about 160, 220, something like that. So that's what we're going to do. 160 by 220. Now, this is the X and Y position, and this is the size. So 100 by 100, it's actually going to change shape when we run it as well. Boop. Whoa, there it goes. And look, it's the top left corner of it. So maybe that's not really exactly the center like they had right here. And if we look in design mode and choose it, we could see it's 135 by 30. So if we want to change that size, we should probably put that in there. So 135 by 30, run it. There it stays the same size. And it looks like I'm not right on the location. So let's do like 140, maybe by 210. Let's see how that runs. All right, so maybe left a little more. It is quite wide. There we go. Looks pretty good. And then it'll stay there. Very cool. Nice. All right. Now we're going to try use random number. So under math, we have this expression, random number 1 to 10. So if x position is 100, we could do a random number between 1 and 10, but that's not very far. So let's do 200 and run this thing and see what happens. Oh, look at that. It moves left and right. And really we can do that for the x and y coordinates. Since the y coordinates a larger range, I could do 0 to, let's do 330 or something like that. So now it's going to move all over the screen pretty much. So that's fun. It's a game. All right, cool. I think that's all I need to do. Yeah, we're good. All right, and 20, let's run this. Oh yeah, it still does the same thing, okay. All right, time to go to design mode and start embellishing your program. Add a text label saying, try to catch the button. So just like it does up here. Switch back to design mode, let's use a label. All right, so let's look at design mode. And again, I want to emphasize the point that these are not all the same. If it says use label, use label. So let's put something in there. So the text could say, catch the button. All right, and we can change the size of this and whatnot too. So let's make it a little larger. Maybe we want to choose the text color. Let's do like a purplish color. Catch the button. And we can move this. And we can change the starting position of our move button. Okay. There it goes. Catch the button. Move it, move it. Oh, I can't click it here. So that's kind of an issue, right? So maybe what I should do then is change this code. Let's go back to code here. Maybe I don't want to choose 0. Maybe I always want it to be like below 80 or something like that. So when I run it and I start playing it, it's not going to like go on top of this text or under the text again, because that seems to be an issue. Yeah, and you can style that however you want. You could highlight it. Mine's kind of boring, so have fun with that. Keep going. All right, how to add images in design mode. So now what you can do is look up the URL of an image and paste it right here, okay? Or you can upload your own image. So you're having a problem, you can download it and then upload it instead. And they also have preloaded ones as well. So let's just jump into that so you can see. So instead of this move it button, that's kind of boring. So I'm going to design mode and I'm going to use an image instead. So it's down here. So I can go to choose image and I can upload, link to it, or use one of the icons. So maybe I just want a smiley face. And you can see it's inside the button there. So that's like the background of it. I could also just put an image in here like this instead. If I go to code, then what I can do is take this same thing. I can change this to the image 1. When it's clicked, it's going to move around just like this thing did a minute ago. So now what I'm going to do is go to design mode. I'm just going to toss this out. I don't need it. I'm just going to use my image because it has the right code with it as well. So let's say you look for a dog picture. Dog. Go to Google Images here. All right. So it might be best just to right click on these and save image as, and make sure it says JPEG down here. And then from here, you should be able to, sorry, I already put it in there for you. Then you go to choose upload, right? Find where it is, choose it and put it in there. And then when you run it, it should move that object around. Now, if it's not working correct, go back to code and see that you're actually clicking on image 1 and set position of image 1. Or I could rename this to dog or whatnot. Mine changes size, so you could change it here as well. Maybe 135/30 doesn't make sense. But that seems to work just fine. And then you have one last little thing, and you can answer those questions. Okay, I showed you the answer. I'm so sorry. All right, good luck. See ya.